How the club want me to do it. The club want an input into who I bring in, and obviously Stevie's stepped up into a player coach role. I'm delighted with that. I think it's a really positive move. We were talking anyway about how we got Stevie into the setup next season. I think this is the best way. I think it's perfect. I think it suits Stevie. We're gonna, when we go to Mansfield and Stevenages and some big teams in our division, you need men, and I think Stevie's going to play his part. Still played over 35 games this season, so we can be well pleased with that again after being an ever-present the season before. So if we can get 20 games out of Stevie, and he gets a first taste of this side of the game, then I think both parties will be really happy. So we are looking for a first-team coach. The club asked me to come up with 2 or 3 names, which I've given them, and we'll just have a chat with a couple of people, from the chairman, Colin Farmer, and Paul Godfrey and myself, and just sort of get a feel of them, how they'd be, and there will be people I think I can work with, and we'll just go from there.
Yeah, what sort of qualities will you be looking for, mainly when you appoint this new coach?
Just someone with a hunger for coaching, a hunger for getting out there and working together with me, Stevie, and all the rest of my backroom staff in putting a structure in place that the players want to come in to learn, want to come in to be coached, be taught, learn, and just put on good sessions, with us like they always have been, and it's just a fresh voice, and I understand that, so that's where we're going.
Yeah. Jason Taylor, any interest? He's one player who's on the list at the moment. Have you had any interest with him?
Listen, it's a week since I put him on the list, and I don't think so. His agent knows the score. Jason won't want to be here if he's not involved. Some things will happen over the coming months, I'm sure, but nothing's going to happen too soon, I wouldn't have thought.
Right. Do you expect anybody else under contract to leave the club?
No.
Craig Brown-Barrett, he's got a year if he wants it. Is he signed that? So he's definitely going to be here next season. Yeah, I'm sure you've got a lot of targets coming up, but 2 players obviously you've offered deals to that haven't responded yet. Scott Brown and Jermaine Beckford. Any indications from them yet?
Scott Brown, no. He's had his father passed away last week, so Scotty's going to need time just to be thinking already. We were already looking at sort of mid to end of May, and listen, Scotty's got a little bit of time with me. I have no issue with that. He's been fantastic for me, fantastic for this football club, a real good servant. If you think it's time to move on, then we have to respect those wishes. We're doing what we can, and we have done as a club what we can to try and keep him. But he'll make his mind up in his own good time. But also, he knows that I'm also out there making sure that everything's covered, making sure that all bases are covered with our goalie situation. Jermaine, we needed to talk because obviously what happened last week. I was speaking to the players last Tuesday, and I had every confidence that Jermaine was coming in to sign last Tuesday. And obviously the bit that you put in the paper about the names coming out, we as a club had said that we wouldn't do that because we didn't feel it necessary. Jermaine took a fair bit of stick off fans on Twitter, rightly or wrongly. Wrongly in my opinion, because Jermaine's not a shirker. It was just a misunderstanding. And as a result, he'd had a tough day the day before. He didn't feel in the right place to sign, so I'm still working on him, and we'll just have to see what happens.
Yeah, he didn't have a great season, I think he probably admit himself, but were you surprised there hasn't been more interest in him because of the qualities that he has got?
Jermaine we as a club didn't have a great season. Jermaine has got if I can get him to sign, he'll have an important part to play in what we're trying to do. I have no doubt he's got undoubted ability. We've just got to try and get the best out of him, like we did the season before, unlike we probably got out of him this year. And I hope he's up for the challenge. I hope he's up for that. I really want him to sign, but like I said, we're just have to be patient with that one at the moment.
Yeah, with Scott Brown, as much as you want to keep him, if he does think it's the right time, because most people agree he is capable of playing at a high level. If somebody, would you wish him well if that was the case?
Of course I would. Yeah, like I said to you, we've got to let Scotty make his mind up. Since January, we've been trying with Scotty, and for various reasons, it hasn't happened. And like I said before, he's been a great football man for this club. Really good. Even the defining thing for me with Scotty was his attitude when I brought Jack to the club. I'll knuckle down, I'll show you, and he's done exactly that. And I just wish every footballer in the land was like him in that respect. Some of them sulk, some of them moan, some of them go in strops and do whatever. Scotty was a man. It was the best thing I've done for Scott Brown, believe it or not, and believe me, that's not why I brought him in, but it really brought out the best in Scotty, and he can be rightly proud of his time with Cheltenham, and hopefully there's more to come.
Yep. So you might be in a position where you need to sign two keepers, because obviously Connor Roberts has gone. Was that a joint decision? Because he wanted to be number one. Obviously, you couldn't guarantee him that. But
I think Connor needs to play. Playing for Wales under 21s, I think he needs to be playing. Can I offer him that right this moment in time? No. So that's how we made our decision. Obviously, Scotty's position isn't clear, so it hasn't helped Connor. But that's not anything. It was my decision purely on merits. Connor's been great over 2 years again. Come in, worked hard, got his head down. Known he's understudy to an excellent keeper. Worked really hard at his game. I just haven't been able to give him the opportunities because one reason or another. And in his age, and I get on really well with both. Have agreed that he needs to go and play games and be a number one somewhere. So good luck to him.
Yeah. Are you close to signing any new faces?
Yeah. No.
Quite a long way down the line. Or?
Yeah.
Can you say how many players you want to sign in total? If Scott Brown and Jermaine signed, how many? What sort of squad size are you looking at?
I'm trying to get between 20 and 23. That's what we talked about. Ideally, with the first year pros plus Joe Hanks with Zach, I'm talking, let's say 6. So that's Zach, Joe, Harry Williams, Powley, Bobby Dale, Jim Bowen. I'm probably looking. I'd like 16, 17 more than that. We want to go into a development league, if you like, that Paul's well underway with making us part of. That we can. So the lads are playing. Like I said, John, things are going to become apparent. Our working week's going to change slightly. It's going to be a place, an environment. We want it to be an environment where people want to come in. They don't want to come in at 5 to 10 and leave at 1:05. They want to be in at 9:05 and they want to leave at 3:00, 4:00. Having, it's a good place to be. We're going to change one or two things, and for the better, and that'll become apparent as we kick-start into pre-season. And it means we're going to get a lot more games into the boys not playing. I think if we've taken on these boys to develop them, I think we have to put that in place. And I think that, that goes with the player coach and the coach coming in. And it just gives us more bodies to be able to work the boys, make sure we do enough one-to-one, enough position specifics, and just do all the stuff that another member of staff enables us to do.
Yeah. Do you think, I know it's early days, but do you think it's going to be any harder to sign players who haven't finished 17th than having been in the playoffs? Or is it harder to sell the club because of last season? I
suppose it could be, but no, I think people know that we're a good club, know that we're trying to do things the right way. We didn't have particularly a good season, as you said, but there's going to be there's hundreds of players out there already, John. You only got to look at who's been released from such and such a club and that club. We just need to be selective in what we're trying to do. We're trying to get a nucleus of young, hungry players with a point to prove somewhere along the line, with some desire and energy, and ability to understand what we're asking and to play decent football and entertain our our supporters who've have had a tough one this year to be entertained. So that's the plan, though. That's the vision that we have. We want to do it and put a smile back on people's faces in the crowd, but we also want to make people come to work with a smile on their face, because if that happens and they're all pulling together, then I think we can get so many more points.
Yeah, it's fun. Along those lines. I mean, it is quite difficult. Most contracts are either 1 or 2 years now, aren't they? Is it difficult to build up a real unity when so many players are coming in and out all the time? And is that the biggest challenge in League Two, do you think?
I think we've got to connect with our fans again. I think there's been a little bit of not a division, but we just need to understand what they're after. I understand they we want good football. I understand we need to be winning, and we'll do everything we can to hit the ground running in August. We as a club need to engage the fans more. I as a manager need to engage the fans more, and we'll be doing it, making every effort to make it, more of a Cheltenham Town family club again, and just we need the supporters, and hopefully they want to give us their support. And like I said, we'll be making efforts. The club are doing everything that they can to try and encourage people to come and support, but also that involves the playing side in terms of bringing people in to entertain them, to make them come and want to watch and get back to winning home games, and ultimately that's what it's about.
Yeah. Do you think you were doing a lot of things right before that last season, because you had the playoffs twice, but do you think now you're even more fired up because...
Without a doubt, yeah. It's been a tough year. It's been not a pleasant year to be in my household. I take every defeat, every poor performance. I take it personally. I take it as bad as any supporter would, but also then I have to clear my head and go again. Like I said, I've got 1 or 2 things wrong. I'll hold my hands up, no problem at all. I'm quite a man enough to admit that, but the squad didn't gel as what I would have liked. It's up to me now. I've got that chance again, fortunately, to get it right. And like I say, I'm doing everything I can to make sure I've got the best backroom staff I can now have available, and that will include hopefully a video analysis guy that we can have here pretty much full time. Ian Hutton, hopefully pretty much full time. And we'll be working on the training ground more, and people have got we're going to be bringing in players who are going to buy into what we want to do, and we're going to stick to it.
Yeah, last couple. Do you know what date you're starting back yet?
Yeah.
Is it? Can you tell me? July the 1st? Or is it?
As we stand at the moment, I just need to check with when I get my backroom staff finally sorted. The pre-season ball work, groundwork, ball work and football and all that sort of stuff will start on July the 1st, Tuesday, July the 1st. The players will be in the week before with Ian, hopefully, if we can get everything sorted with Ian, with just for 3 days, a date they'll be advised about. It'll just be strength and conditioning, just making sure that they've followed their programs, they're in as tip-top shape as we can possibly go to be in. We need to, like I said before, we need to hit the ground running. We've pulled them in a week earlier. They'll be in for, I think it's 3 days that we've got planned for them. They should have followed a program that they've had individually based fitness programs over the summer. Some of them need more of a breather than others. So we're hoping by the 23rd of June, the majority of our group are back, and just getting all things fired up, ready to go the following week. The 6 that I talked about earlier, the 6 young players, are back in June with Ian, and they're already keen to get started, but they need a breather. But these are all things that I just need to finalise with first Ian, and first the board, to making sure that we've got a position for Ian and how we do it, and secondly then Ian, just making sure that it's all ready to go and our plans are now put in place. And there's been lots of meetings between me and the chairman and the board, and and the board just. Obviously, we've had a few changes, and we're just trying to make it as smooth as we can and as good as we can, giving ourselves the best chance that we can for next season.
Yeah. Cheers, Mark. Thank you.
All right.